Whole Foods Market Catering. Order online right now. Aaron Rodgers, not at Jets' mandatory minicamp. It's an unexcused absence and subject to a fine. Here's Jets coach Robert Salah with somewhat of an explanation. Take a listen.
You make the best decision for yourself. And obviously, selfishly, want all of them here all the time, but he made a decision, and that's what he went with. He came through yesterday. He had his physical. He did the multimedia day, or the media day, and all that stuff. So he was, but like I said, he had something that was very important to him, and if it's important to him, it's important to us.
Okay, something or nothing.
Oh, it's definitely something. Prediction before I give my take. When Rodgers talks, he's going to not so subtly scold Robert Salah for those comments there, and Salah, when he talks after Rodgers talks, will walk it back a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
So you thought those were harsh comments?
I think Aaron's ears they're harsh. I think unexcused sounds harsh. I think in Aaron's world, I gave you guys a heads up. What more do you want from me? I'm a busy guy with important things, which is why he's such a phony. Guys, every player, there's one other Jet not there. A player that never wanted to be a Jet, that the Jets traded for, who wanted to, with the problem with his previous team, Hassan Reddick, was he wanted a new contract. The Jets thought, well, we're the Jets. He won't want one with us. They traded for him, and he got there, and it's like, nope, still want the contract, guys. Every other notable player who isn't at mandatory minicamp, we know why. Money. Brandon Ayuk, CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins doesn't even have to be there because he hasn't signed his deal, but that's all money. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. Right. I actually think it's kind of fine if it's like, hey, I'm holding out for money. We know why. Aaron Rodgers, double booked. Hate when I do that. I hate it. You double booked, you're like, June 11th, I think I have something, no, I can commit. Oh, the mandatory minicamp. And then you have to make a choice. What's more important, this other event or the mandatory minicamp that every single one of your teammates will be at, except for one who hasn't really even joined the team yet? When you are the leader of a team and when you just said you're going to, you believe you can lead them to the Super Bowl and win the MVP. And he chose the other thing. This wasn't a last-second event. This isn't birth of a child. Those things can be excused. Those things we understand. This was, I have two things going on in my life today. I'm choosing the other. So don't then tell me the thing that was second place this time is the most important thing going on with you, because it's not. And Brew, in my opinion, that is not sustainable for the quarterback of an NFL team. It's just not. Might be sustainable for, the running back. Maybe. Hey, a busy guy, and you guys will be fine without me. It's not sustainable for the veteran leader quarterback, especially when he lectured everyone about how important it is keeping the nonsense out of the building.
It's something serious. I mean, really. Oh, no. You got me all messed up.
I thought it was good.
Something selfish is what I meant.
Yeah.
Not serious. Something selfish. Okay. All right? And Robert Salah's not he's talking about, that's why I don't think that comment was harsh. If Rodgers has a problem with that, come on. Well, at some point, somebody's going to have to call him on the carpet.
Okay,
all right?
Good luck.
Because Salah said, selfishly, I want everybody there. It's a mandatory practice. You're not being selfish, Robert. You're not. They're supposed to be there. Aaron Rodgers is the one being selfish. And you guys know, I've tried to believe in him with the Jets. This is ridiculous. If it's not family or health related, then you should be at practice. I don't care. There is no other excuse. All right? There is no other excuse. And you're right. This sets such a bad tone for the start of minicamp. Because all the other, and we know they love Rodgers, but they're human beings too. And they're like, where's Rodgers? And like you said, didn't he tell us months ago, get all the distractions out of the way, be all about football? It makes him look hypocritical, like Nick said. It looks like insubordination. Do you think this helps Robert Salah have more authority with the other players?
No.
This is terrible. I almost think the Jets should have said, like they said it's an excuse, so he gets fined.
Yeah.
I almost think they should have been like, let's just say it's excused. Let's just say, because this is a bad look. But it probably was so frivolous, his reason, that they couldn't justify saying,
and even
we're going to excuse
the thing is, even if it's not frivolous, because Wilds and I, we talked about this before the show, I don't think the reason the Jets, I think, felt forced, because I'm sure they would have preferred to call it excused. Oh, Aaron was here. He told us, it's personal. We're not getting into it. And if that were the case, that would have been one of the very little pullback. What is it? Fourth wall, fifth wall? I don't know how that works, Wilds. I never know. But sorry, those are the times where I get very frustrated before a show, because I'm like, man, I know this is a nonsense excuse, but because you don't know for certain, like, hey, maybe someone is sick. Maybe you don't want to, so you get like, okay, who knows? They didn't do that, in my opinion, because that then opened, if he's talking at a conference or doing a political thing, then you set the precedent for every other veteran teammate in there who's got some level of guaranteed money to be like, I've got other important stuff too.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be in New Jersey in the first week of June or middle of June. There's a lot going on. I could be out making money, signing autographs, talking to my foundation, whatever it is. So you have to draw a line somewhere. And the fact that he gave them, again, this is speculation, Wilds. I would imagine, this is why I think Rodgers is going to be bothered by this, that he thought they were going to say, whatever you want, Aaron. You are excused. When Aaron said, hey, guys, just so you know, small calendar conflict, June 11th, not available, that they'd be like, oh, no problem. And they didn't. And then Salah has to sheepishly, if you watch the whole thing, he's like, yeah, 2 guys weren't here. And he talks about Hassan and gives a thing. And then everyone's like, oh, who's the other guy? And he's like, and Aaron. It's unexcused. And then a reporter followed up and was like, did you say excused or unexcused? He's like, no, it's unexcused. And the reporter says, so he'll be fined? And he's like, no, well, the CBA handles that. You just can't have it.
Look, I do think when he gets there, if it's tomorrow, whatever, and he's ready to go, I think football-wise, he will be fine. The question is the tone it is set. It just sets a bad tone. It may not be something insurmountable, but it's just not a good tone to set for your team.
Yeah, and so this is what I want to talk about, because this is pretty interesting to me. You guys know that I've spoken pretty highly about Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. I try to set aside all the political nonsense and all of this, and truthfully, I always share my opinion that I think to be the most accurate, no matter what side that will fall. I take pride in not being biased. So just because I've been saying all positive things about Aaron doesn't mean that I'm just going to continue to say that unconditionally. This is dumb. This is absurd. On Aaron, for Aaron, quite honestly. Here's the reality, okay? When you are a professional athlete, especially at the level of Aaron Rodgers, and this is a little bit harder for people like us to understand because we don't live this life where there's so many different things can kind of come up in our lives, that the football, it is the ultimate priority for him. There is no calling out, oh, well, I got to drive my mom to the dentist, whatever it may be, no matter how small, no matter how big, outside of something very specific with family, like actual health, obviously not a dentist appointment, or, the birth of a child, sickness, whatever it may be, something that's truly transcends a job or athletics, right? But anything shy of that, and there's been whispers that he had a political engagement of some sort. I don't know if that's true. It hasn't been revealed what it is just yet, but apparently it will be shortly. It is absurd. And yeah, the Jets would have loved to give it an excused absence, but that opens up a can of worms for a lot of people. And quite honestly, that makes the locker room even more upset. Because yeah, the locker room respects Aaron and loves Aaron and wants to win and believes that they can and will win with Aaron. And they all understand that the quarterback and that the big players get special treatment, and all players for the most part are willing to accept that, but it all has to be within reason. And this crosses that over. This will rub other players the wrong way. They don't see this as a mandatory thing. They don't see this as, well, yeah, I love Aaron and I wish he was here, but I get why he's not. There's a difference, and especially if they excused it, then they're going to be really annoyed and really frustrated by that. So you have to think about the players more than anything, and there's just nothing that could be taking place. Like, I don't think the Jets are being hard where other teams would have excused this absence because it was something serious with with family of some sort. But that's not what it seems to be. Like I said, it seems to be that it potentially was some sort of like political event, some sort of speaking. I don't really know. That's, again, and he said, well, if it's important to Aaron, then it's important to us. And it's like, well, then if that's the case, then why wasn't it an excused absence? So the whole story is just absurd. And if Aaron is mad that this wasn't excused, then that's insane. Then Aaron is far gone at that point. And I don't even think he could be that far gone or that delusional. If he is, then wow, then that's kind of impressive, quite honestly. Or if he's mad at the way how Salah handled it. But Salah also handled it very weirdly, too, in a way where he was kind of like talking out of both sides of his mouth and saying like, selfishly, I want everyone to be here, right? Like, that's like a boss saying, selfishly, I want everyone to come into work. And it's like, well, it's their job. They should be coming into work. And if everyone else can show up, then Aaron should show up. And Aaron should have the wherewithal, the understanding that he needs to be there, that this is his priority. And I know from Aaron's perspective, he's thinking, I've been to these camps a billion times. Missing this will do nothing. It won't impact my play on the field. It won't impact my play, my camaraderie, my chemistry, whatever. It will do nothing. And quite frankly, this is beneath me. I've been doing this for years and years and years. I'm not going to go to this. I'm going to go do this other thing. So I can see that, because he kind of sees the illusion of how important showing up on June 11th is. But he's failing to realize that the other people in the Jets organization, the coaches, the players, they don't live in that world, okay? This is important to them, and it's important that you show up, that you are there, that you let everyone know that you are no different than everyone else. Because there's other players that would miss that camp and probably be cut or definitely on the back foot. But Aaron knows he's not. And Aaron does use that to his advantage. And that's just typically not good leadership. Now, if Aaron won a Super Bowl with the Jets last season, or balled out, even if he didn't win a Super Bowl, but he just balled out, right? He plays the whole season, balls out, they lose in the Super Bowl, lose in the AFC Championship game, whatever it may be. You just even get to the playoffs and win a game. Then it could maybe make a little bit more sense. I'm not saying it's right. It doesn't take away from anything I just said, but you could understand it a little bit more, because he's like, yeah, I'm doing this thing. Look what I just did for you guys. I turned around this organization like that. I made everyone on the Jets instantly relevant. I got us to the AFC Championship game. I balled out. I was like the third best quarterback last season. Like, I'm going to go do this event or whatever the heck it is. It's important to me. This is what I need. And y'all are just going to accept it. I could understand that more. But that's not what happened, obviously. He got injured. He didn't play. And then it was just a circus every single week from that point forward. Him going on podcasts, him talking about stuff, let's just say, naming names of people that no one even talks about anymore. Like, he's literally bringing up names of people that just no one even talks about anymore. And he's doing it on ESPN, podcasts, whatever. And you're just like, okay. And I don't care about any of that type of stuff, but again, he brings it on to himself. And then you add this onto it. That's when people are not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. So I'm really curious to see what this ends up being. I hope it's not just some sort of political event. I hope it's something like it was a retreat or something, right? Like it's something that I can actually defend. If he was like, he needed to get away, and he did. He's been away for the last week, and it's like a meditation retreat, a prayer retreat, another darkness retreat, whatever it may be. I would actually support that to a degree. I would say, well, this should have been scheduled in a way, since you have all the money and the power in the world. You should have scheduled this in a way where you wouldn't have missed this. That's why I think it's probably not one of those things, because I think unless he's meeting like the Dalai Lama or the Pope or something, where like you just can't reschedule because they actually are the two people in the world that actually have more power than Aaron Rodgers, then I would understand. But anything short of that, if it's not something that's like spiritual or truly something pure to him in the sense of like it makes him a better human being, he thinks it makes him a better human being, and that he just couldn't reschedule because, like I said, it was an opportunity to like have a conversation with the Pope, then I could understand. But anything shy of that, I just think it's inexcusable and just absurd. And, you know, it's just nonsense. And I really am excited to see what this is, what actually comes about with this. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think Aaron Rodgers missing minicamp is something or nothing? Do you agree with Nick Wright that he is indeed just a phony? Or do you think that this is just nonsense either way? Who cares? It's minicamp. Get over it. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.